What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a trilogy, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that's going on in the beautiful sports world. And as always, what is a podcast without your brother and
Hey man, Sean Hart is a charismatic, good excellence at its finest, aka Big Brother Iron Man, sir. That's Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, Cash App, you name it, man. Let's go.
Yo, it is the one and only Black Peace, the host of Talkin Smoke. Be sure to go check out my own podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Be sure to go follow me on TikTok, Instagram, just social media in general. Google me, man. Let's go.
Whoa, the Google tag.
Google me, man.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is I, Sedacious Xavier Miles, the one and only. And on behalf of me and the bros, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. I just want to say real quick, it is really hard to try to keep your head centered in this box when you're doing the podcast. And that's all I got. Take it away, bro.
Yeah, man. Quick order of business first, man. Sincerely, sending an abundance of prayers and immediate healing during the mourning process of all those affected, whether directly or indirectly, by the shooting in Uvalde, out in Texas, Uvalde City and Uvalde, Robb Elementary High School, mass shooting. A numerous of young kids, again, elementary school, so a numerous amount of kids were unfortunately killed in the mass shooting, as well as teachers, administrators, so on and so forth. More information is coming out. This literally happened maybe 4 or 5 hours ago as we're filming a podcast, so we're not sure what are all the complete full details, but we do know we are unfortunately faced with a tragic incident in America today. So we just sincerely want to acknowledge that, and again, send out an abundance of prayers. And over time, I know it's not something that may happen immediately, but just over time, believing in God to sincerely bring peace and healing to all those, again, affected directly or indirectly.
This kind of hits a little close to home for me personally. If you are in the Texas state, you'll know that Uvalde is probably about 15 to 20 minutes outside of San Antonio. It's more so the greater San Antonio area. Actually sent a text to check on my old supervisor at the time, who I had gotten really close with. Checking on him and his kids, knowing that they kind of go to school around that area. So it definitely hits close to home. But I do want to send my condolences to the families that did lose, their kids or their loved one today. But I also want to call to the stand and call to the court of not only public opinion, but real legislation rather, to go forth in regards to, I wouldn't say gun regulation on a universal sense, because I'm all for the Second Amendment rights, but I'm not for anybody having the accessibility to go get a firearm and do anything heinous and cowardice, as this, 18-year-old man, chose to do today. So, call your state senators, man. Hold some of our leaders within the community accountable. If you care about this type of stuff, you just don't want it to be a tweet or a post on your Instagram or Facebook, and you want to try to make, real change, and call your congressman, call your state senators, and let's try to hold some people accountable for some real reform in regards to regulations, and not allowing any old Joe Blow to be able to, get a firearm, because from what I'm hearing, it was very easily accessible for this man, and for somebody of his profile type, you know, it probably shouldn't have not, you know, been that accessible. So, you know, like I said, condolences to the families, but, you know, some stuff got to change, man. I'm tired of making posts, and I'm tired of just talking. You know, I really want to see some things change.
I actually want to take it a step further and say that we should outlaw guns altogether. Just America, just
don't cripple us, brother, because the revolution is coming, and I'm not giving up my guns for none of that. Because I'm sane and in my right mind, and I would never go do that in a school or to any other public setting. Period. So I'm gonna go ahead and outlaw you on this podcast and say no. I don't want you stripping us of our Second Amendment right that the founding fathers constitutionally told me that are, you know, that's a part of the Bill of Rights. You know, those first 10 amendments, it's a Bill of Rights, man. I don't want you infringing on my rights, talking about I can't have no gun just because this fool went and one bad apple shouldn't have to spoil the bunch. But I do feel like it should be regulated way more than it is currently.
This is all the protection you needed. You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day.
Man, them days is over with.
Man, nobody fight no more. Are you a man without your gun?
Go ask that to the nigga who went and shot up the school, bro. Was he you and I? You know what I'm saying? It's like I know we try to make light of it. That's our culture. That's what we do as a people. And I'm talking about Black people, not singling out any other race or, you know, beautiful ethnic group that is listening to the podcast. But, you know, that's what we do. It's a common defense mechanism to make light of our pain. You know, we do have to, you know, joke about it, but, you know, on a more serious note, I'm afraid that that's what is going to be a result in the future. I'm not too sure if it's going to be the near future, but I do not actually support them taking away the Second Amendment right. I do support, however, it being regulated more than it is. But to take it away and say that everybody can't have guns just because literally the schools don't even have the infrastructure to take or even fight back in a case of an active shooter, I think there needs to be implementation on a statewide superintendent level and a district level in regards to safety compliances and safety regulations that need to be put in place in order, you know, for those things not to happen, whether that be metal detectors at the door, having more armed police actually in the school and not having that be out of the budget, right? Because a lot of times schools come back that way, oh, we just don't have the budget to pay these officers, because technically when they go and play security, you know, at a school, it's almost as though it's the same type of spirit in which, you know, when they technically supposed to be on the line of duty and you see a cop playing bouncer at a club, it's the same type of thing, right? One institution has the money to pay for it for 4 to 5 hours worth. One institution, which is more common and is ran during the day, sadly, they don't have the money for it. And I'll let you go ahead and, you know, give your reasonings or backings as to why, you know, a nightclub would be more heavily funded and have the operating, you know, power to hire security, you know, of an officer more than a school. But I digress there. But yeah, man, it's just sad, man. I think they do need, at the very least, at least, you know, a couple more officers on deck and not just sitting at the job collecting a check, but actually on the front lines, scoping suspicious people, and not having the free reign to just walk into a school. Because as it stands, you can just, there's no, you have to go in and check in as a visitor, but if somebody really wanted to, just like it happened today, unfortunately, you could literally get a running start and literally walks in there and just sadly
start shooting up the place.
Yeah, and there's nothing in place to stop them. No metal detector, nobody at the doors, enforcing the, hey, sign in, let's check to see who you are, what you are, what kid are you here for? None of that, man. So If these superintendent schools, they find all of these other ways to, teach about the LGBTQ things within school, and I'm not bashing that community at all, but I'm saying they're making an emphasis to impute that within the schools. Let's make it an emphasis to save and protect these kids, and let's make an emphasis on safety, like we make an emphasis on trying to be so inclusive and teaching them about everything. Yeah, let's teach them about safety.
Yeah, no, I think talking about like safety and trying to prevent these measures from happening, just off the top of my head, I don't know what legislation would have to be put in place for people to like take it serious and act on it immediately. Just something in terms of just like creating like a border around the school system to where like you can't even get to the front, like the front entrance, without going through like some heavy like security breaching procedure before you even get on like the actual school premises or campus. So I mean, to see something like that, I know like I know there may be it may be stricter on the levels of like high school or whatever, and that's really just like at the bare minimum of like metal detectors. But I mean, if you want to find a way to get something in, you'll get it in. But yeah, like I said, doing something like that to like prevent somebody even being able to get close with that type of, weaponry. It would be nice to see that be like a mandate around the country to prevent things like this from happening. Also wanted to add to an 18-year-old who did this. Dude killed his own grandmother before he went up to the elementary school. Like, I don't know how many people you may know that now by the time you're listening to this, but somebody gonna do that to the young grandma. Like, it ain't.
He ain't suited. He's not well enough in the head to even possess a gun, which is why I call for regulation on the applications on the process of obtaining a gun, because I know, especially here in Texas, hey man, they just passed the open carry law literally not even more than 2 years ago, man. So it's like, hey.
Yeah, it's almost like we asked for this.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you hear about this kind of thing. You hear about this kind of thing all over the country, and I felt like this is the first time that I know of this is actually happening in a gun state, like a heavy gun state. Obviously, Texas. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's gonna make a bigger impact. I know it makes an impact on me. I have a few children in school, and when you hear that, your heart drops as a parent. Because literally the statement came out. The statement came out. Texas school shot, and my heart dropped. I'm like,
what school?
Like, what? What school? I'm thinking like, how close? Yeah. What school? Like, wait, like I feel like there should be a alarm going off in every school in Texas. Like, hey, guns are going off. This is the mind of a parent, to be honest with you. Of course, that'd be a little over the top, but that's the way my mind went. You know what I'm saying? I usually see it on CNN or whatever. It's, in different states all across the country. But to me, man, it hit harder because it's like we supposed to be the gun-toting state that has everything under control. And just like Sean Hart just said, they had the open carry law, not too long ago. And it's like, it's one thing that shook me real bad. It's like, it makes me think, like, did this guy walk up in the open carry stance to a certain extent? You know what I'm saying? It makes you think, like, the way the laws are right now, like, was it as easy as it seemed? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, no metal detectors and this and that. Like, I feel like it was kind of like one of those, we think it's not going to happen until it happens. And it's sad that people gotta lose their lives because of it. And it's like, it's so easy. Like, dude, like, you're asking people to have this open carry law or have these loose gun laws, and you're expecting nothing to happen. You're not expecting at least one crazy person or a person that's, not feeling themselves that day to be able to contain themselves. Like, you got to be a little bit more stricter. You got to be a little more tighter. Forget a little bit. You got to be a lot more tighter. I wouldn't say take your guns away, but I'll definitely say, this is serious. A gun is an object that can take a life in an instant. So it needs to be given all the attention it can.
Yeah, just like 9/11 happened and they had immediate reform in regards to airport security, I think the same thing should have been done. And I think this should have been done a while ago. And personally, if not Columbine, then it should have happened right after Virginia Tech. Did we not
But
learn
no, it
anything
did happen
with
in
the
Columbine. It did
I know
happen in Columbine. They start putting metal detectors in the more ethnic schools. They start paying attention to those, and they start going lighter and more
it was
civilized
happening in
in
it
the
was
other
happening in
areas.
the ethnic schools, right? Yeah, because that's where it was happening.
Of course,
but we know why the metal detectors were placed there. But come on, man. It's just like setting up a mousetrap, in a field full of mice. You know what I'm saying? Granted, sad to say, the higher probability of a kid, even mistakenly taking a gun to school is probably higher within these urban, more, inward city schools. So it's like you're not really facing a problem. I think it just needs to be reformed across the board in regards to school security. We need to have more active police officers that aren't just sitting ducks who in a car eating donuts, hitting on teachers and some of the students in some cases that I've seen. That's a whole nother conversation for another day, but actually have acting and active officers on duty, patrolling and casing the campus so things like this don't happen, right? And it's just, at this point, we've seen it enough times to where it's no excuse to why, there isn't any infrastructure or any laws or any mandates that are in place that would have some type of defense for the kids, man. It's like we just got our babies out in the open, man, and it's sad, man. It's sad.
It varies, to be honest. It varies, to be honest, because my kids still happen to be in an area where I feel like it's a little bit more, I guess say safe, to keep it more plain and simple. And it's like, I think about schools where I grew up. I went to a high school where like there was no form of security, any angle. Only thing it had was a gate. Sedation can tell you, like, all it was a gate. There was no metal detectors. We're in a poverty-stricken area, where anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just one of those things where, like, selective schools get it, no matter whether it's from him who are there, but it's like, why isn't that more of an important issue in America? We're the ones that actually have that issue. Why can't we have charities and foundations like towards security of school? I understand, there's other things going on, but that should be a little bit more like emphasized, like, rappers, entertainers, people in our communities, period, public figures. Put your money.
It's got to be in the budget, man. It's got to be in the budget. So that means if we got to have a public round of funding for public school security, so kids don't lose their lives over senseless nonsense like this, then we got to do it, because it's Go ahead.
I love sports just as much as the next man, but we can spend so much money towards the taxes towards that. Come on, dog. Schools for protection. Come on, help me out. That's what I'm saying. How are we gonna get the next LeBron James in the next 20 years if situations like this keep occurring? You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Like, we got to be more in line.
Ain't gonna be another LeBron James, but I get what you're saying.
But you get the idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So, in a quick prize picks update, one of my good brothers, he tried to convince us that Luka was the Glock on the under on the rebounds. Luka currently has 9 boards in the first half, and he was projected at 9.5. I know he's pissed right now, but back to you, E.
That wouldn't happen to be the guard Shaq, would it?
Big Shaq. Big Diesel. Big daddy, plug talk, CMG. Can't tell him nothing, man. Can't tell him nothing.
Shaq also wanted to take Harden over like 2 or 3 times last series.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
We gotta get Shaq on the show.
Nah, definitely need Shaq on the show. Oh, your boy, he was on that Harden overtrain too. Don't you?
Nah, I really think you was convincing
that y'all shouldn't take, because I sure was rocking with the under. Everybody on this podcast was set on Harden under, and I've tried to.
Yes,
I tried to relay the message back to y'all, and everybody like, what happened? I laughed at. So this what happened, man.
Turkey on prize picks too.
Oh, for sure, my boy. A big stepper. We all prize picks connected in here.
I'm praying for a key right now.
What'd he say?
He say he praying for a key right now. Lord. Shout out to Future House, like pray for a brick. That's the reference. But nah, man, they tried to convince me that Harden was gonna go over. And in dramatic fashion, I think he needed 21. The man stopped at 20.
Nah, for sure.
And I said, well, there you have it.
I ain't gonna beat the dead drum, but we know we also have another Harden faithful on here. Beat the dead horse.
Oh man, I'm over that Harden, man. I'm over that boy, man. And then you want to ask me if he deserved the max. Really?
I ain't gonna lie, Patrick Beverly did make a convincing argument. 22, 10, and 8.
Episode 70, return on investment. Episode 70.
No, I don't care.
Hey, nah, but tonight, y'all know I've been heavy WNBA. I came back, I had to dip my hand back into the NBA pool, so I took Luka over on turnovers. I need him to cash me out for a 5 pick, all 5 pick.
I wish you'd have told me. I'd have told you to take him on board, bro. I would have told you to take him on board.
You think Luka gonna turn over the ball?
I got all 4 of my WNBA picks hit, so I just need Luka to give me 4 turnovers tonight.
You serious?
They hit today already?
Huh?
They hit today already?
Yeah.
Oh. E, why you ain't dropped the line, baby?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Okay, let's have this conversation.
Please, let's have this. I don't like how you sounding.
So, I've personally been discouraged because them picks have not been hitting at all.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't.
They have not been hit. And I feel like every time I drop them and they don't hit, I feel like I'm messing y'all off. And so today I was just like,
oh man, what happened to Bad Boys for Life, man? We ride together, we die together.
Bro, I don't know. The luck was too bad. I was just like, bro, I don't want to keep burning my dogs. So like, if I'm gonna go out, I'd rather go out on my own. And it was, yeah.
Thank you for going out around and went up.
Yeah. So I guess at all costs, always give out the picks, no matter how bad.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Bro, I was feeling bad, bro. I was feeling bad.
Because now I can say you hold me. Now I can say you've been giving me the bad picks, and now you keep the good picks.
It's faithful to actually have it, but today was 4 games, and it was just better. Like,
yeah,
bro, they've been fumbling the bag like severely, and in the Patreon, of course, all of them, they 10 racks it up, so they got 100 and 550 to throw away. I'm just like, bro, like,
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I seen the dude that we like to follow on Twitter, both of us. Your boy Matt, the Bucks fan. I forget his Twitter handle.
Yeah, I think it's like Matthew P something.
I damn near called him Matthew Dellavedova, but yeah, he just hit 90 bands on there, and he said he had only been on there for such and such amount. I don't think he'd been on there but a year. I say, man, I'm like, dude's got to be depositing their salary. Dude's got to have direct deposit to Prize Picks on
bro, because I'm just like, bro,
it's a dude out there who dropped nothing but $100 tickets. Like, that's be the lowest thing he bet is 100. And off that alone, I went for the Gusto once, 4 pick for $100, and it mug crashed horrifically. That's how, bro. When you bet that 100 and up, bro, you must expect the unexpected. Whatever you think is a lock, you gotta trick your mind and be like,
really?
Two of these is gonna go off rip.
Yeah, it's like really before you place that $100 pick, what I learned is like you have to mentally prepare yourself that it's not gonna hit before you have to come to accept yourself.
You gotta be bracing for it, and that's why I used to have a motto: you only put in $100 picks when I had over $1,000 worth of credit in Prize Picks. Other than that, they gonna hurt. Okay, they gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've been trying to 2-pick the 40 ball for the 120 to greatness. And
don't lose a $1,000 2-pick.
How do y'all feel about this, right? So I seen a dude this past weekend. I don't know if y'all caught it, but Daniel Thesis rebounds was at 0.5. And he took his rebounds and he had a WNBA pick, and he bet $1,000 on both. He put the ticket in twice, and he just took Daniel Thesis over, and he took him under, and he put $1,000 on both of it, basically just like a little security, like kind of hedge. Yeah, do y'all hedge y'all bets often?
No, that's so.
I've been thinking about that though.
I do sometimes,
but it's so dumb though if you think about it, like, because the whole point is to make that 1,000 times 3. So if you put another 1,000 out there, you could have really used that 1,000 for something that you actually believed in, as opposed to trying to hedge your bet, thinking that you finna lose. Because what you tell me is if you think you finna lose, brother, it's a better bet out there than Daniel Tice's rebound, because it's not guaranteed that Daniel Tice might touch the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I mean, at worst case scenario, you just get your money back. Possibly.
Yeah,
if it's a DNP, you get your money back. Because I didn't put in a pick. I'm talking about thinking Steven Adams was still sweet on the under, and he blew me out the water in the first half. But Natasha Cloud, COVID, she didn't play, so that money came back to return to sender.
Hey, shout out to Natasha Cloud. She got me paid the other day, man.
Big fan. And if you're also listening to this when Ella Donna, EDD, when she playing, Natasha is good for over 5 assists. I think I just found that out. And when she not playing, really, Natasha Cloud points on the under is like low key sweet, because like she more so like playing to the point guard with them having.
She's a fantasy player, bro. She is defensive minded. She will have a lot of steals.
Yeah. But yeah, he had his best, and he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna like play it safe and just take the $1,000 profit or whatever. And I was just like, I guess, but I knew, and he had bet 2 racks, so like on 2 tickets, he bet the over and the under on 1 ticket for Daniel Thesis, and whoever his WNBA pick was, he just like bet the same on the over. Up on you, my brother.
Hey, man.
That's two racks down D drain.
What that boy?
But yeah, man, I be trying to, like I say, trying to keep that discipline to like not look to the left or the right, because I'm like, bro, where are y'all getting this? Like the NHL pick that I had put in the group chat for the 700, and I'm just like, bro,
like that shit.
That thing crashed and burned, man. That thing crashed and burned.
I'm like, who got 700?
That's somebody that'll just get on 2-3 bands and just probably had a band to just play with and
throw off. Give me a band to play with. Cause like what I noticed too is like I gotta start like pulling my money out early, cause like for me, like just like visually, like I want to see that band in the credit just to be like, I did that.
Ain't gonna lie, that's my problem. Every time I see a band in my credit, really, I see 10, and I gotta get that out of my mind, bro. Like, cause you got slow grind.
Yeah, man, it's like I gotta go ahead and withdraw half. Put the I
tell you right now, like baby said, this one I got 7, I'm on 10. I'm going for it. I'm telling you, next time I get a band in there, I'm trying to 3-pick. I looking, hey, quick.
And you know what? And that make you a fucking champion for that, bro. That makes you a champion.
But Jeremy said it best, man. Chances make champions.
Right. Can't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm like the typical scale down type. You know what I mean? I'm not going past my $10.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't on Prize Picks to play it safe, dog. I'm on Prize Picks to get rich.
To get rich.
And that's just my personal thing. It done hurt me and it done helped me before too. But man, hey. Like I say, if I see $1,000 in credit, if I got $1,000 worth of credit in my account, bro, best believe I'm trying to get that to like 4 to 5 that same night, which is partially my problem.
It's like, hey, first step is a bit. I can respect it, though. I can respect it.
Understand what
I think my dumbest bet was the bet. Like looking back on it in hindsight, my dumbest bet is the bid that I actually hit on. But,
that's how it be.
Dumbest bet. $1,000 two-pick. Killian Hayes, backup point guard for the Pistons. Mo Bamba over 0.5 assists. Mo Bamba actually ends up hitting the prop in the first quarter, so I'm lit. So now I'm just looking at Killian Hayes over PRA. His PRA was at like, bro, it was abysmal. It had to been in like 12 and a half. I'm like, bro, he finna kill it. There's no K Cunningham. He finna kill it. Bro, when I say Sadiq Bey went for 50 that game, Killian Hayes was like 0 for 5 and got snatched out the game. You want to talk about the hurt? I could have really went to Detroit and walked down on Killian Hayes. Boy, those 3
hey,
bands.
no Rico charges over.
The way you just smoked that money for me. Man, dog.
Big step.
Yeah, and that's tough because like when that mug hit in the first quarter, like you got no choice but to be up and feel like excited.
And I don't know why I rested my laurels on that, man. When my mantra has been steppers only.
Killian, we weren't on there yet though.
But you know why though? Because I think it was COVID ridden. Like it was like a slump in the season, and like the Pistons was like playing a lot of young players. They trying to get a lot of burn. I'm like, Killian should. And bro, what pissed me off even more, the end up going crazy the next game for like 19, 12, and I said, bro, ooh boy, slept the dog, fit out that man mouth, man. But you know, it's all part of respecting the game.
Hey,
True
bro,
indeed.
On the camera.
Oh, my boy a little busy right now with a little
troll.
We gonna
roll up.
And get him in the cam momentarily.
Yeah, man, we'll be there in a second, man. You just give us a little bit.
Let me find out. Is this an audio episode only?
Man, brother,
I'll reach for it.
You know, we got a lot of young viewers out there, man.
So where we left off it on last week, this is kind of like after the podcast, it was kind of just continued conversation. Darnell, you got off, but me, Sheinhardt, and Dacius were still on. And we were going back and forth with him about 2 players in particular who are still in the playoffs. But before I reveal that, I'll just ask, well, whatever. If Jason Tatum, Darnell, were to win the championship this year, would he be in your top 5?
That's tough. Somebody got to come out.
Take your time.
Right now, like of the current NBA.
Oh, the current NBA.
Yeah,
when the final horn blows, if he got a chance,
of the season, like of now. I get you.
Going into next season, because like if he win the championship this year,
exactly.
This season, but going into next year, if Jason Tatum is coming into next season as the champion,
reigning finals MVP,
right? Where do you rank him in the top 5 of the NBA coming into next season if he is a NBA champion and finals MVP? Really just champion overall, because I don't see him not winning the finals MVP if they gonna win the championship.
That's a general question.
I would say 5, man. I'd put like right at the 5.
Okay, so give me your top. Give me your 4 above that.
Like right at the cusp.
Give me your 4. It don't have to be concrete. It could be loose, but give me, if JT gonna be right at 5, give me 4, 3, 2, 1.
Loose and not really thinking too hard. I would say I'm gonna go ahead and get him serious. Say Tatum is in the Luka, individual player.
I'm gonna hold my peace.
The waters get a little muddy.
It's tough, though.
Hey, get back to him, because I got a rebuttal for you, brother. Luka ain't even in.
It's hard.
I'm gonna take him out of there. So if Luka, if Jason Tatum win the championship and get Finals MVP, bro, top 5. Let's just go down the list. I got in no particular order. Well, you know what? He wanted the order. I'm gonna still go. This may shock people, but I'm gonna go Giannis 1. I think Giannis is the best player in the world right now. That's just how I feel.
That's personally. Another one.
I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna go Giannis 1. Currently, he just averaged 30 at 37. I'm gonna go Bron 2. I think Stephaniezer gotta come out of there, man. I gotta eat through, bro. Cause
he gotta come out.
Okay, because they did make it to. Okay, I got Giannis 1, Bron 2, KD 3, Steph 4, JT 5.
All right. Okay, so Darnell, you started the podcast talking about you feel like you fell victim. I don't even think he got PT this game. I could be wrong. Talking about the white power.
And you know what? No disrespect to Jimmy Buckets, who just an honorable mention. He would be my 5A or my 5B or my number 6 or 7 because it's not talked about enough how he averages. I think whatever he averaged in the regular season, he averaged like 24 points a game. It's not really eye-popping. But the man goes all the way from 24 points a game all the way up to almost 30 points per game in the playoffs. He averages 7 points per game higher. You want to talk about the literal epitome of I just hit the switch. He literally goes and flips the switch when the playoffs come like, yeah, this is what I get up for. So honorable mention to Jimmy Butler, who I think gets paraded around because he doesn't put up those godly numbers in the regular season, but playoff time, he is a top 5 playoff player to me in the league currently. There's no doubt about it. So it deserves an honorable mention in the overall standings of big dog status because it's all about, you said it yourself, E. You make your money where?
In the playoffs.
Come on, man.
Darnell, who is better?
And I got my 5 real quick.
Please, let's have it, please.
Please.
my personal 5 going in, thinking it'll be the top 5. I got Giannis, Tatum, KD, Doncic, and I said somebody already.
Man, I don't know if you said Bron or not. Did you say Bron?
I said the kid from Akron. I didn't hear you say it.
Everybody leaving somebody out.
Top 5, guys? Top 5?
Okay. Oh, I just got one more question. You can think about number 5, but answer me this. Maybe you've already answered it based off like the ranking order that you just gave. Do you believe, Darnell, Black Peace, do you believe, and you can answer this.
Oh, Joel, that's another one. There you go.
Oh, Joel, okay.
Yeah, wait on somebody to say Joel.
He ain't got no championship, bro. The people that I named hypothetically would have had a ship, but go ahead.
Darnell, do you think, and you can answer this question when you get ready, Trey. Darnell, do you think Luka Doncic is a better player than Jason Tatum?
Why you doing me like that?
Bro, it's not rocket science. That's what I don't get, bro. It's not a rocket.
Yeah, man.
Question shouldn't be difficult.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna say yeah.
You think Luka Doncic is
no,
better
it's
than
just
Tatum?
like I love Tatum.
Hold on, you think Tatum is better than Doncic, or you think Doncic is better than Tatum?
I look at it like swap the roles. That's how I look at it. Swap the roles. If Jason Tatum was on that team and Luka was on that team, what would happen?
All right.
I see Jason Tatum carrying that whole entire team at that magnitude. I know, game plan.
But no. This is what you got to understand. There are 2 completely different positions. Jason Tatum is not paid to be a point guard.
He's a true wing, and he's a two-way player who just shut down KD in the first series of the playoffs, which is why he would have catapulted into my top 5 just off the defensive loan. And Luka Doncic, as we know, is a defensive liability, and he lacks on that side of the floor. So I just seen Jason Tatum take KD for stretches and strap him down.
And got buckets on the other end.
And got buckets on the other end and gave him 40. And KD with no answer.
It's the potential in Luka. I know what you're talking about, though. I see.
You can't blame Luka for not playing defense. You can't blame Luka for not playing defense because he's an offensive liability.
Yes, we can.
It's like the same thing with Jay. No, you okay. So okay.
Yes.
You go put the best player in foul possibility.
This is not the NFL.
That's what you want to do. Your main source of offense.
This is the NBA, brother. You got to play both sides.
Okay. So
I'm saying, who would you start the franchise with tomorrow?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Me personally, I'm gonna start my franchise with Jason Tatum. I like my superstar to have a certain type of feng shui and an attitude about him. And Jason Tatum, I'm not saying that he's Kobe, but he has a sprinkle of that Kobe-esque DNA nature to him, to where he wants the moment and he takes the big challenge on defense. That's what Jason Tatum's big step to me. Right? If Kobe was still living, rest in peace, I think he would have gave a challenge to Tatum to, okay, defensive player of the year. I know you got Marcus Smart on your team, but can you not win that? I think he can. He got the length. He got the athleticism. His offensive game is...
That's just me. No, you good, bro. I think that's it.
I'm about to say his offensive game is complete. So, man, you ask me who I'm starting my franchise with, I'm going to take Tatum over Luka, respectfully, though. And that's no slight to Luka. That's no slight to Luka, though. But respectfully, I'm going to go with Tatum.
And mine is no swipe to Jason, to be honest. It's more I'm looking at more like, what if I hate to do hypotheticals, but dang, it's like he's been put in a position where he has to be the guy to score. He's never gotten an opportunity to say, all right, y'all take care. I can commit myself on defense, put myself in foul trouble, and be able to do that. He can't. He can't.
I don't think he has the
physical
ability to be great on defense.
Yeah, he ain't.
No, he's not.
True,
laterally,
but it counts against him. But just like you said, it counts against him because he's a defensive liability. Like, it counts against him. So it's just like, well, it's like that scale is tipped over so much to his offense. He can't even show you defense. Like, he tries,
so
but it's like within he can.
You will take him really.
It's like the same reason why
defense. I feel you.
It's the same.
Same reason Harden. Why. Now look. James is kind of lazy though. But prime example. Now I'm not saying he's him. I'm not saying he's the Mamba. But just like with Kobe, Kobe didn't take offensive charges.
Luka.
Look it up. That's one thing.
The same guy who was drinking beers and smoking hookah before game one of the series. Remind you not, him and Boban was out on the town in the Bay. Hey, Luka hookah. Hey, we leave.
All right, y'all. So the person who stirred up this controversy to begin with, like I said, it was last episode. That being Sedacious, he's been respectfully quiet and he has looked respectfully very bothered. Sedacious, for the people who didn't get to hear that conversation last week after the podcast, if you want to, you can give them your top 5 right now, or I'll just start it off like this and you take it away, Sedacious. Sedacious didn't feel like Jason Tatum was warranting any top 5 recognition if he were to win the NBA championship this year. Wow. I personally found that to be crazy. I'm taking JT over Luka any day of the week. But Sedacious, why do you choose Luka over JT?
Bro, I want to go top 5. I don't care about the Luka conversation. I want top 5. So there's no way possible, bro. When we got to talk about hypotheticals to place this man in the top 5. I don't even want to have the conversation with you if you're going to go off of hypotheticals. But let's say hypothetically, the Boston Celtics win a championship. I'm not going to place this man above Giannis, LeBron, Joel, Steph, Jokic, and the list can go on and on.
I agree though.
I'm not going to place this man. I just ain't seen enough, bro. I've seen too much Jaylen Brown. I've seen too much Marcus Smart. I've seen too much Al Horford. I've seen too much.
Brown is the most
I've seen too much Robin Williams.
Co-star that you ever want to have, but go off. You talking about I ain't seen enough of him. I don't know what you've been looking at because he done let me down many a day.
In the mix of that, though.
Don't get me started on Jaylen Brown. He can't get over the hump of 23, 24 points.
But he gets essential points, and he gives essential to Jason Tatum.
But what's the common denominator in that situation? The common denominator is Jason Tatum is still doing Jason Tatum regardless of all that. So
that's who the common denominator.
Let's say if Jason
that's
Tatum
negative. When they had Brad Stevens, Jason Tatum, we went through those numbers Jason Tatum was putting up in the playoffs with Brad Stevens. So you can't try to give us the excuse that, it's MAU Doku all of a sudden.
And where did they go and what did they do?
They got to the
conference finals. What you talking about?
And if I'm not mistaken,
it took them a game 7.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they took out Joel en route to that. I could be wrong, but I think they took out Joel en route to the Eastern Conference Finals.
And who won?
Toronto did. Oh no, they beat Toronto.
Did Boston win?
Oh, Toronto. You can play that game, but we gonna always go back to this Luka first year getting out the first round. So we can play that playoff game.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all talking about Jokic top 5,
let's not go to Luka top 5. I need why Jason Tatum's supposed to be top 5.
Bro, because championships put you up there.
And you just named a couple of who don't have one in Joel and Jokic. And I get it. Jokic 2-time MVP. Yeah, that's insane.
He don't have the MVP. What are you talking about?
Who don't have MVP?
Jason Tatum. What you said? What about MVP?
Everybody I named got an MVP.
All right.
Except Joel. You said Joel. Joel don't have no MVP.
He should have got it yesterday. He should have got this shit.
Who they gave the MVP? Who they give his MVP to this year?
Man, they gave he got Braun.
That's political.
Jokic.
I'm a Jokic fan. That was political.
That was political, bro.
I wasn't even too fond of that.
They robbed him like they robbed LeBron.
I ain't gonna lie, and I say this, and I'm out for it. They did the same thing that they did to Harden. Harden should really have 3 MVPs, 2 for sure. 3 if you're not counting the year that him and Braun was. I ain't gonna lie,
but that's what Sedacious talking about.
But I ain't gonna lie though, that's the year the Rockets won 65 plus games. He led his team to a number 1 seed. And I think he led the league in scoring that year. So how did he not get MVP?
I'll say this. If you don't want to put JT in your top 5, that's fine. But JT, Luka Doncic isn't better than Jason Tatum.
On defense?
On offense, too.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Personal opinions.
No.
Thank you.
On offense too. Oh,
wait a minute. They got a complete offensive game. Now I'm not gonna let you disrespect.
But Luka entry level game is
not to the energy you using. Not the energy you using.
Not because he plays defense.
Sure. Like, come on now.
Excuse me if he a little tired.
No, we said on the offense. You just said offense.
Is a better all-around player than Luka Doncic.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yes. I say Luka Doncic got an edge maybe offensively because he's a better playmaker than Tatum, but that's about it. And one thing, I say I don't think he's a better shot.
I disagree.
They do the same thing. They get the same attention as star players on the team, and they kick it. Is that not what Luka does?
But one is more actually design. But he's a design facilitator. Luka's not a design facilitator. Tatum's not a design facilitator. He's supposed to be a killer.
Which is even more impressive because he's averaging 5 to 6 assists per game in the playoffs.
Got to.
Is he not?
That can happen.
Because
Kawhi does that. Kawhi, LeBron,
because he got to. What do you mean? Because he got to. You talking about Luka got to or Jason Tatum got to?
No, Jason Tatum has to.
He has to what?
He has to kick it. I'll see Luka shoot over both defenders and make.
Why does he have to kick it?
Just because he won't shoot over them like Luka will shoot over both defenders and make it.
Okay, so how many times does Luka do that for it to be like a good shot attempt? So what you're saying is he has to pass the ball because he's getting double team and triple team.
Let me ask you this. If Luka don't have his shot going, what else does he provide to you?
He going to the post?
As opposed to, hold on. If Luka, I'm talking about he don't have his offensive game tonight. Let's just say his shot ain't falling.
Okay.
How does he positively impact winning on a very high level in a high scale?
Because
That's a legit question. Because if Jason Tatum's shot not falling,
listen,
he just showed me he gonna go strap up your best player and he not gonna get off either.
Who gonna score buckets?
You mean you just
all the players you named? Remember, you seen too much of Horford. You seen too much of Williams. You seen too much of Brown. You seen too much.
You want
Brooklyn to be my top five because he's gonna approach a game like I can't do nothing, but I can lock down the best defender. You want me to put that man in my top five?
Say that again.
I'm not putting that man in my top five. I want the person
that's
that's
gonna be
care.
if you didn't have a shot falling, bro. And which isn't really too often.
Dwight Powell, Reggie Bullock, all these no names gonna start hitting threes for this.
Nah, look,
and he might hit a couple himself.
But he not better than Jason Tatum.
Offensively, it's a close argument. Defensively, clearly.
So like if we talking about all around player. Like that's direct. Like that's conclusion. So like he's not a better player. Point blank. Period. Right?
Yeah. No.
All right. Then.
So there's all over. So
do he believe?
Go ahead,
Dardell.
No, I'm saying in order to be top 5 player, you have to be a great all around player. Is what you're saying?
Not really, because we got Stephen at. Well, I had Steph in my top 5. But I'm not gonna disrespect Steph though. Over the years, he has really taken his defense up a notch. Not to say
he accepts the challenge,
but he does accept the challenge, and he does. He gives significant effort on that end, which I'm not mad at, because when you're the best shooter ever, one can say he don't have to do that. But, for the system that he's in, it calls for him to at least give effort so he doesn't get singled out and put in the action every single fucking time. Or excuse my language. But and he's a champion too. And he was a champion before KD got there, which is why he's still in my top 5. And I just can't see a world where we don't have the greatest shooter ever. And he's still technically in his prime, not in the top 5 of the NBA. That just is ballistic and asinine to me. Ludicrous, almost, one could say.
Man.
Look at him.
You don't have to bring up accolades, but
don't give us an update on it, man.
But Mount Rushmore, the NBA, Jason Tatum don't belong there yet.
Hell, he get a Finals MVP.
Oh, we're not doing all that.
Yeah,
maybe having to have another conversation, bro.
Man, I don't know why y'all sleep on Luka like that.
He not sleeping on Luka. He's just not better than.
He could change my mind. He could change my mind if he win 4 games in a row this series and get to that final.
Luka the closest thing.
Do you hear me? If we do that, hey, I ain't gonna lie, he gonna have to win the finals too for me to just go on. If he do all of that and win the finals,
bro, I need if Luka win 4 straight, and then he would also have to win a game 7 in San Fran.
In the Chase Center.
It's everybody.
Chase Center. And the Celtics go ahead win they 2 games and go ahead beat Miami with a 6 game.
And Jason Tatum and Luka is matched up. Boy, you better pray he that nigga that you think he is.
Y'all know how far y'all reaching for this?
No, for sure.
That ain't no far reach, bro. They both in the conference finals right now. We not.
Also, you basically saying that he are practically out of here. This is just like out of formality that they got to play another game.
Yeah, man. If the Mavs win tonight, I still say Warriors in 5 because the Mavs just don't have enough. But if Luka is that guy like you say he is, he's just so magnificent.
He'll get 2.
Yeah, go get.
Then why this?
Go give me 2 then.
And he said,
"Well, I'm understanding this."
Well, we got now. Go ahead, Darnell.
Y'all saying that Jason Tatum has literally everything on his side. He has chemistry. He has a brand new system they're working out. He has everything on his side to be great.
Whoa.
But yet Luka has a brand like
that's an oxymoron. How you gonna have chemistry in a brand new system with a brand new coach?
Because the same players are still there.
Right.
Horford went away for like a couple seasons and came straight back.
Under new leadership.
That's the same team, dude.
New pieces.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But those are still good players. You have a defensive player of the year.
So I could be
They
wrong
have a new defensive player of the year.
I could be a little. I could be a little off with the roster, but is Spencer Dinwiddie the only new acquisition that the Mavericks got? I could be wrong with that. Do anybody know off the top of their head?
I believe so, man.
They ain't got Chris no more.
But y'all seen the progress.
Oh my God!
But y'all seen.
So Luka needed Kristaps Porzingis.
Players.
Great.
No, they got rid of him.
Hell no, that was horrible.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened in that situation.
You don't cease to amaze me, Darnell. Don't.
You got Marcus Smart, you got Robin Williams, you got Al Horford stretching your five out to hit threes. You know what I mean?
You got Kleber. Don't Kleber stretch out at the 5 spot? You got Kleber. You got two. And then you got two.
Are you really comparing Kleber?
You got two. You got two.
Come on.
You got
Miss Kleber, leave it to Beaver. Come on.
Then you got two.
Leave it to Beaver, really?
Then you got two defensive guys to make up for the lack thereof defense that Luka ain't gonna play. So you got two guys who should be able to limit. It's what? So they don't have Bullock and they don't have Derek Finney-Smith out there to play extra defense that Luka ain't gonna play. That's what you gonna tell me?
They playing. They playing package A defense right now.
Right.
Enough
I don't think they
get the whole.
All right, so
Marcus Smart just went and got defensive player of the year, bro. You can't compare that to Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock.
So these two players don't even equal up to one Marcus Smart.
That's insane to me.
Marcus Smart hit his shots too.
I like
Marcus Smart hits his shots.
Come on, man. The guy averaged 15, 6, and 3, bro. Let's not.
Y'all trying to make it seem like Luka don't get help all of a sudden.
Boston just the most complete.
He never has.
How he get through 2 series then? He did that all by himself?
45, 48.
All right, bro. All right.
Absolutely.
I think he's the top scorer in the playoffs. I think
he scored a facilitator.
Nah, facts though.
I guess those 30 points that he scored per game. Well, I won't even say 30 points because it's PRA. The points, the rebounds, the assists, how many points he's responsible for. Okay, let's find that stat to bring it back to see how much production Luka gives his team, which is probably.
I ain't gonna lie, Jay Reddick did get a stat on First Take today that over the past 2 years, Luka Doncic does lead the league and
like open 3-pointers or creating open shots for teams.
It's basically quality of shot
for teammates.
He's like number one.
He draw that much attention. Man, I ain't gonna lie. Luka got so much.
He creates the best quality of shot for his teammates over the past 2 years.
Luka is a great player. But now it seems like this narrative has now begun to be Luka don't have no help. And so that's fine.
Yeah, that's the first thing they said when they started getting whooped by the Warriors. Oh, Luka don't have no help. That's the first thing. I ain't gonna lie, it was a cop out.
Everybody.
It's just the fact that
they do it to everybody.
Luka is the only name over there. The only name.
Just because that's the only name, that don't mean he don't have substantial amount of help. Jalen Brunson is a respectable player. Jalen Brunson, damn near, one could argue, probably could have got them out of that Utah series had Luka not came back. Right. That may be a reach.
Maybe.
Hey, I honestly feel
maybe, bro.
It was still competitive. I give you that.
Come on, bro. I just like I get it. Powell, who is he? I get it. I get it. I bet his unders faithfully at the beginning of the playoffs. I get it. But like,
I can go out there and get you 3 points.
That's his center though. That's his starting center.
Yeah,
I can get you 2 boards,
bro. I think I can do it. I can get you 3 like loose ball rebounds. I think I can do it.
But
all right. But no,
I do respect.
I understand
Tatum to still be able to hold his name in that situation.
I understand what y'all saying. Y'all saying like, why put all this stock in JT when like he has everything around him to be successful, whereas Luka only has himself. I understand where y'all coming from in that regard. I say give Luka help, and like I don't even know what help looks like with him being a point guard and having to be so ball dominant. But yeah, well, I guess with Luka year 4, I believe. So I guess I don't know how much longer we give him to like get the adequate amount of help, especially like playing for an owner who like isn't cheap. So yeah, man, we'll see how far Luka gets and go. But I'm not saying he trash. I'm not saying Luka ain't great. I'm just not going to sit here and stand for him being better than Jason Tatum as an all-around player.
Luka better than Jokic? Real quick, because I know you about to wrap it. Quick, Luka better than Jokic? Yes or no? Oh, will you just explain a whole lot? Yes or no?
They the same?
That's a BS answer.
I mean, but no, the reason I say that, right? Their production level for their team is all on them.
Currently, because Jokic don't have Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray was back and healthy, I think we have an entirely different discussion, and I think you feel differently about it.
That's fair.
I won't give you the hypothetical, though. I won't give you the hypothetical because we haven't seen them within the past almost year and a half. So
yeah, right, year and a half. And so like their production level is like all the way up there, and Jokic damn near really run the point from like the high post. Like in terms of just facilitating and getting assists, like Jokic, what 26, 8, and 10 himself, damn near, if I'm not mistaken, whatever his stats is this season.
Yeah, 28, 13, and 6, something like that.
Foreigners running.
Yeah, so like and like Trey was saying, like in terms of Dallas, it's like Luka's the only name over there. Jokic is the only name in there. Like, who else you gonna look for?
Jokic,
Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray.
Porter Jr.
Out, hurt injury.
Yeah.
Like, so that's
I ain't gonna lie, Michael Porter, and that's another thing.
He's still coming.
Yeah, but I'm sick of the whole you got the back issues and whatever and all of that. I'm sick of it's time. Hey, brother, the time is now.
Right, time.
No man,
do it and be that.
For you to turn.
Right, all right, man, it's the final countdown. You finna be on the Shanghai Sharks if you ain't careful either. Come on, man. True hurt.
Yes, sir, man. International players running the NBA.
It's a sad truth, but I would have to second that because your top 3 or your top 5 players are all not born in the United States. If you consider Joel in your top 5 and with the year he just had, I would say that he has to be in your top 5, even though I just didn't put him in that. I ain't gonna lie, I might say Steph, just this year alone, I might take Steph out of them, but it's hard for me not to have the greatest shooter of all time in my top 5 when he's still in the prime of the NBA. I just think that's just crazy. But I ain't gonna lie, and some NBA just can't let LeBron not be in the top 5. Because
that's 2 slots. 3 slots taken up already.
He had 30. He just averaged 36 and 8. That's insane, bro. Mike,
you gotta put Jason Tatum over Stephen Curry, Edward. You got to.
Oh no, I ain't
in your top 5 when he win the championship. You know, because that means he beat Steph Curry to win that championship.
I'll do that.
For sure. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'll do that.
No.
Okay. That's a conversation worth it. We'll cross that. We ain't gonna lie. And the crazy thing about this, we'll be having this conversation in less than a month. So it's cool.
But bro, you gotta understand, right? Like, so all right, so you make that statement, Sedacious, right? I think in order for because I was thinking about that matchup and I was just like, obviously, you know, you see the job that A. Wiggins is doing on Doncic, so obviously, you know, he's gonna be trying to guard Jason Tatum. I think the Warriors, I gotta like just study them a little bit more, but I feel like just like they have more consistent offensive power. Going up against the Celtics. I think sometimes I don't know how long we want to like give them this excuse of like youth, but just like I feel like they should have been taking care of business with the Heat in terms of like they still a game. Like the blowouts, the way the blowouts have been happening, I'm just like, I don't really know if you could play like that against the Warriors. But I think given the scenario where the Warriors do actually face the Celtics, I think if the Celtics do in fact beat the Warriors for the NBA Finals, I think some of that would have to be attributed to Stephen Curry not playing great in the finals. And if that's the case, I think you could easily put him ahead of you could easily put Jason Tatum ahead of Stephen Curry if he beats him in the finals. On top of that, Stephen Curry doesn't really perform well to be Stephen Curry, that killer you say that he is.
Yeah, he ain't no. And with everybody been trying to push him, you know how they say, I ain't no killer, but don't push him. You've been pushing him for years now. And he ain't smoked nothing yet. He need to go get him a hat. And by hat, I mean a Finals MVP, brother. Show me that you that guy.
I'm going to say the best shooter in the world.
Crazy Dollar won Finals MVP that first time they won championship, but then KD came in back Finals MVP. So
best shooter in the world. The best shooter in the world ain't a killer.
Hey,
you
man.
Get out the car.
Hey, man. Episode 69 or 68, killer qualifications. Beautiful people, feel free to go back and listen to that episode.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Do your research, people.
Yeah, nah, man. But before, all right, beautiful people, I'm going to put this out in a timely manner. Next week, it may be a break. I want to say the NBA Finals start officially June 2nd, which is a Thursday. So we'll shoot the podcast next Tuesday as we always do. We'll do it live via Instagram. So yeah, come on, comment, hang out, kick it with us, rock out with us. Give us your playoff finals, NBA Finals predictions, some of your other sports takes. We'll have you penciled in for whoever you think is going to win the NBA Finals coming up next week on June 2nd. So yeah, man, make sure y'all stay tuned for that. We'll put out a graphic to remind y'all for that. One more thing before we close out. Want to give a special shout out to our first female guest on the podcast, Stacey Childs. We at episode 71, so y'all probably gotta go back like somewhere in the 40s or 50 episode mark to go back and listen to the episode we had with Stacey Childs. Very dope individual, woman. She is running for the State Board of Education in District 4 of Houston, Texas for the Democratic Party. Right now it's her primaries. If she wins, earlier before we started the podcast, she was up like 54, 52%, somewhere in that margin. The polls are closed. They're currently still doing the voting. Right now it's showing, let me try to refresh one time. And that is absolutely great. Looks like I lost it. But I brought it right back.
We just gonna touch and agree and say she in the league on these folks, man. And
yeah,
because of that, it's because she gave some great gems on Respect the Game podcast. And if y'all want to go and check out Stacey Childs' old episode, it will be the Derek Chauvin, George Floyd trial case and date episode. I'm not too sure which number that is, but I guarantee it's on Apple or Spotify podcast, and you can go bleed that and go get that on YouTube as well, man. So
yeah, man. So like as I said, touch and agree on that. She's gonna win today, and when she does, she will then go up against the Republican Party on November 4th. And make sure we are definitely going to flood the polls and make sure that we show up sharp and vote for Stacey. Shout out to you. Congratulations in advance on you winning. very very smart woman, very educated. She's a lawyer as well, criminal defense lawyer, I believe, as well as a family court lawyer.
Wow.
She's in the schools around her communities, and she is truly, truly, truly serving the people around Houston, man. So shout out to her, and again, congratulations in advance on winning your primary runoff, and we're gonna make sure we get you in District 4 on November 4th. November 8th. We're gonna get you in the office November 8th. So, beautiful people, this is another great episode, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for tuning in. Great content coming, gonna continuously come. As always, we don't take y'all for granted, and we will see you beautiful people next week.